The third in the ABC of REBT series. This video applies the ABC of REBT theory, considered in the first two videos, to text analysis. In effect, the ABC of REBT can be used as a critical literacy tool. In this instance, we look at the situation Franklin the Turtle is called to deal with. The ABC theory lends itself well to teaching children that strength of emotion in response to an unwanted happening is connected to how the situation is viewed, or perceived, or interpreted. Ms. Smithers is across the theory and is doing well in applying it in practice to reinforce the ABC of REBT ideas through the Go Spaghettio framework. Ms. Smithers is a Rational Emotive Behaviour Educator, a Go Spaghettioist, and she is firing on all 8 cylinders. Back at school, Ms. Smithers welcomes her children and beckons them inside. She's planned a lesson that will illustrate how a book character deals with a serious and traumatic happening. Ms. Smithers is aware that her students sometimes feel very aggrieved and upset when things don't go their way, and she wants them to understand that things, most times, are not as bad as they seem to be. Ms. Smithers has a formula now to teach this via the ABC of REBT theory, and she believes that the children are learning important ideas and strategies to apply to themselves as they forge ahead. They will become their own counsellors, applying the ABC of REBT to their lives. Ms. Smithers is doing what Albert Ellis wanted to happen, to bring elements of psychotherapy into the school system, to take psychotherapy from the confines of the consultancy room into the classroom. Good work, all. Miss Smithers reads Franklin's Bad Day, asking questions to identify key ABC of REBT points like, what happened? How does Franklin feel? They'll check the emotional thermometer. How does he act? Why do you think he acts like this? Why does he feel so sad? They check the catastrophe scale. The children say, because things have changed, Franklin won't be happy again. Franklin thinks that bad things happen and they make us feel bad and act bad. They shouldn't happen and it's not fair, and things should be the same as before. Miss Smithers carefully and expertly leads the children in discussion. The question at the end of the story is, how does Franklin feel now? Has his friend Otter returned? So what has changed? The children say that Franklin was using brain-body thinking, which made his bad feelings and behaviors. But he's now using brain-friend thinking. His new thinking rule says, sometimes things don't go my way, but I can handle difficult situations. I don't think that everything should go my way all the time. Miss Smithers says, yes, the situation hasn't changed, but Franklin's thinking has changed to brain-friend success helper thinking, which has made brain-friend feelings and actions. Franklin has an optimistic outlook, feels happy that though Otter isn't returning, he accepts that he can be friends in a different way. Ms. Smithers says, yes, children, isn't it interesting that Franklin goes from sad and mad to happy and optimistic? And what has changed, everyone? The children say that Franklin's thinking has changed. And has Otter returned? Miss Smithers asks. No, the children say. So what is Franklin's new brain-friend rule again? It's sometimes things don't go my way, but I can handle difficult situations. I don't think everything should go my way all the time. Have a go, Spaghettio, said Miss Smithers. It's raining ABCs of REBTs. How does each relate to Franklin's predicament? Miss Smithers is doing such a good job. Miss Smithers has studied her ABC of REBT counselling paradigm. She believes that it is a useful way to help everyone explain how thinking, feeling and behaving are linked, She uses the Have a Go Spaghettio language of the Success Helper chart, so that classroom discourse is imbued with the notion that we can learn to manage how we act and feel if we learn how to think about our thinking. Miss Smithers not only talks the Have a Go Spaghettio talk, she walks it. She shares with the students those moments when she feels anxious or frustrated. She checks the classroom catastrophe scale and thinks out loud. Is this problem the worst I can have? Am I thinking this problem is worse than it can happen? What is BrainBuddy saying? Oh, I think I know. BrainBuddy is saying, in other words, what she's thinking, that this is worse than it really is. Can you help me here, children? This is how Miss Smithers speaks. Let's just recap on what Miss Smithers and her children have just done. Miss Smithers is using the ABC of REBT as a critical literacy tool to provide her children with ideas and competencies that in turn will boost their emotional intelligence and the ability to self-regulate. In doing so, Ms. Smithers teaches emotional intelligence in her daily overall literacy program via the Have a Go Spaghettio pedagogy. She has applied her knowledge and understanding of Have a Go Spaghettio to analyze how Franklin responds to a challenging situation, applying the ABC theory of emotional disturbance counseling paradigm, in a sense, counsel Franklin through this episode. She brings the students along for the ride and in doing so reinforces the Have a Go Spaghettio approach to problem solving, that situations contrive against us. But it's not so much the situation, but rather it's our brain-body thinking that does. So the A part of Franklin's experience is that Otter, his best friend, has left. C is how he feels and behaves as a consequence. B, his old thinking is that it's not fair, Otter should return, she must return for me to be happy. D is disputing B. In the story, Franklin's father said to Franklin, look, even though Otter's moved away, you can still be friends. Franklin took this on board, changed his thinking from, even though Otter's not here, it's not the worst thing that can happen and I can still be friends with her. He has a new emotional effect. He's now thinking differently and he acts and feels differently. Way to go. Franklin is back to his old self. His best friend Otter moved away. He felt sad and angry. Otter didn't come back, but Franklin changed his brain-body thinking to brain-friend thinking, and in doing so changed how he felt and behaved. Franklin is learning how to help himself in difficult times, and the children are too. A win-win for all. Well done, Miss Smithers and students. Way to go, Spaghettio. The children sing the Have a Go Spaghettio song, and Miss Smithers feels happy because she believes the children not only understand the Have a Go Spaghettio approach to success and well-being, they're applying their understanding to problem solve. They are learning how to self-regulate. Do your best, lemon zest. Ms. Smithers says the ABC of REBT tells us that what happens, A, has a connection to how we feel and behave at C. Have a Go Spaghettio provides the ideas and language to talk about this. It talks about how the type of thinking, B, about A, makes feelings and behaviors. We can use the ABC of REBT to critique and analyze texts, like Franklin's Bad Day. Give it a try, banana pie.